So before we continue with that next level, the fortress, we're going to hop really quickly into our bonuses, and we're going to look at some of the things that we've earned from playing the video game.
Let's check out some art, because I like it.
So yeah, here's what I was talking about, where a lot of the original designs were a little bit more cartoony.
Yeah,
than,
I see that.
I mean, obviously it's art, so you would expect it to be, but it's clear that there was a lot of different kind of ideas of how the game was going to feel and what it was going to be, and all that type of stuff. And I imagine that there was a version of this that was probably meant to be a little bit closer to a Jak and Daxter in terms of its tone and presentation.
Probably.
Maybe it became realistic because maybe it was a request from Sony to like push what the PlayStation 3 was capable of, and then they had the audacity to get upset that it was too realistic. I have no idea. I don't want to say that as if I know that was what was actually happening. But you can see here the it's not as clear because it's not in color, but the quotation, the baseball T-shirt. Yeah. Where it has the red sleeves and kind of the trim around the neck, the slightly more uppity hairstyle. You also don't ever get to dual wield pistols, and as far as I recall, any of the games in this series. So again, it's clearly kind of a more actiony, exaggerated aspects of the game at one point.
That's a lot of guns.
He has a lot of guns there, but I mean, he needs all of them.
That's true. Well, no, you just need a lot of ammo.
And then he's getting you don't have to reload if you have a lot of guns, Joey.
You're right.
If you have tons of guns, you don't ever have to reload any.
It's like that TikTok or Vine or whatever of the guy he's shooting a gun and then he takes the clip out and throws the gun and grabs another gun and puts the clip in it.
So this is we were talking about how much did the game get touched up or not get touched up, and so obviously this is a render, not what was displayed in game, but this does at least give you an idea of this is a render. This is what they were working with. This is kind of
it looks fine.
This was their peak. This is how as good as it could have looked at least.
Yeah.
This is kind of what they were building everything off of. This is another interesting aspect. There's the baseball T-shirt Drake, something that's never been a bonus. For what I guess they didn't really want to do that one. But in all the early trailers and concept art for Uncharted, Elena was a brunette.
Huh.
As far as I know, the motivation for the design change has never been explained. Because there are trailers for this game where it's the same model, same voice actress.
Just
her hair's
brown.
Her hair's brown for whatever reason. And then they changed that up later. Look at me, kid. I got my big gun. Ha!
I was gonna say maybe it was to just differentiate from him and Drake having dark hair.
Mm-hmm. There's no zoom in on this, is there? No. Okay, I just want to make sure. There's also an example of the plane as we see it does definitely have some stuff in it. You can see photos stuck on the walls and things like that. But like here you can see it's almost like he's got like a little. He's got the guns up in the corner. Yeah. There's a bunch of it's a lot more detail. There's the boar's head, which is a great little detail, like it's his den, and there's a glass of wine or some other kind of liquor there on one of the crates. I didn't comment before. Time to crate in this game was almost instantaneous. If you want to count Nathan Drake, so if you want to count Sir Francis Drake's grave as a coffin, it's the first thing coffin as a crate. It's the first thing we see, and then
even if not, when you get on the boat, there's
crates there immediately. We're gonna talk about crates some more in this game in just a little bit here, and then similarly, this is the inside of his boat, which there's a Billy Mouth bass there.
I was about to say.
There's a lot of little cute details that didn't necessarily make it into the game because there's just you only make so much detail on some of these things.
Yeah, I'm sure at the beginning somebody was waiting for me to make a JoJo's reference, but I wasn't gonna do that.
In what way?
Too much low hanging fruit.
because of the thing in the ocean. Duh. Okay. So these are interesting color scripts. Where it's basically the piece of art that describes the color palette of the sequence of the level or whatever. Okay. It's an interesting turn of phrase, color scripts.
Yeah, but it's important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just
it's
think
important so you avoid the modern game or whatever it's called in this.
The next
gen filter.
Amazon finding ruins, Amazon exploration, Amazon wall details, temple ideation. So this is also something coming up here in a second as we see some of the concept art for the temple here as they're going through it. They didn't wind up incorporating. So there's some funny stuff here. The outside guardian statue, inside watcher statue, scary column statue. So you can see here in this in the art on the left and right, there appear to be spiders or some kind of bugs crawling around there, possibly in that shot, and then you can definitely see them here. Where there appeared to be, at one point, there was a concept where you were gonna get into some kind of gunfight with some creepy critters, which we're gonna. I don't want to talk about this too much. We don't see anything like that in this game. Let's just say.
I love this art though.
I love how he's clearly unloading. It looks
This
like
is
a
a book
shotgun.
cover.
It looks like a pulp magazine, like
Yes.
from like the 40s or something.
That's
a,
great.
a real man.
Have you ever seen that image? It's a similar tone like this, but it's a dude that's like he's like got a stick and there's like crabs and lobsters that he's beating.
Yeah,
It's
of
like
course.
that.
The time for crab image that got photoshopped with Sora's hair when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out.
I hadn't seen that.
Oh yeah, that went around a lot after the Pirates of the Caribbean thing. So we didn't talk about this while we were actually in there. Read that down there. Temple calendar room layout. That flooded room where we blew up the gunpowder. Yeah, there were a bunch of markings actually on the ground that were submerged. That presumably light would have come in there and hit different stuff, right?
Cool stuff.
Like I said, there's a lot of attention to detail in these games. In spots, they really lose it. In other spots, it's really there. But a lot of times when it's there, the game like kind of neglects to comment on it, so you kind of have to stop and look for it. But yeah, there's a lot of neat, interesting stuff here. I'm not going to sit here and claim to be an expert on Incan architecture or Peruvian architecture, whatever the hell. I don't even know where the hell this is in the world,
yeah.
So I can't tell you if any of this is accurate or not. But at least it's interesting that they tried to do. And there's another. He's shooting a bug. He's shooting some creepy bug over there.
Yeah, this stuff's interesting, but I'm in the same boat. Like when I was younger, my ancient interest involved dinosaurs, not our architecture.
And that's why. And that was what took you to your favorite Star Fox game, Dinosaur Planet.
Actually, but still, listen. They went to Dinosaur Planet. I was like, dinosaurs? Wow. And then I realized that there were no good dinosaur games.
There are no good dinosaur games.
Now we have games like Ark, where it's like, yeah, this is cool.
So I don't know if this
It's got my favorite dinosaur. It's not technically a dinosaur, but we're going to talk about that.
I don't know if this is technically, like, if this was a different idea for the puzzle or whatever. Like, there's two identical rooms, or if it's just, whatever. Temple Well room, which the puzzle that was in the game.
And you push the thing, which somehow makes the thing happen.
Yeah. Who cares? No big deal.
You have this awful room that was built to be destroyed.
We also have a second gallery we got a little bit ago. So this is the type of thing, I wouldn't want to accidentally open this when we started playing the game and say, have we gotten to this part yet? Nope. So as you can see, this looks slightly more plausible in terms of the placement of the boat. That not so much though, because that is more the waterfall type look than what we.
That first one really reminds me of Metal Slug concept art for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it's because there's a boss that is a boat that looks like that.
It's kind of the way that it's coming forward into frame like that. Yeah. It gives it a little slightly exaggerated cartoony look to it.
The game has some of the best pixel art of anything I've ever seen in my life.
So we get to shots like this, but even here, I can kind of slightly imagine how that lower area maybe was a higher riverbed. Almost, I can kind of suspend my disbelief, but in the game, it's nonsense. It's mostly nonsense in that concept art too. I don't want to sound like I'm defending the concept art as being super realistic either.
Yeah, but it's a little better.
We got the model of the crewman and then the art of the dead captain there.
So he got his throat ripped out.
Roman also went through some different kind of interpretations here. This is like I'm saying, this is like all these concept arts are completely different from one another and look nothing like where they got to eventually. So clearly they messed around with him a lot before they got something that they liked.
That. I mean, I guess that's what happens.
Yeah, sure, of course. But you don't often get to see that level of
what's great.
You don't get to see that kind of laundry aired often.
Yeah, but it's like that's what's great about concept art is you also get to see it's like, hey, they played around with doing this thing with this character. You're like, ooh, neat. They played around with giving the dog from Persona 3 a minigun. It's like dope.
You can see there in the distance between the two kind of major sections of the island, it looks like some kind of bridge, which I don't think that bridge exists anywhere in the game. But it would have been like kind of an early indication of there being some kind of civilization here. This is very similar to a scene actually from a later game. There's no beach crash in this though, obviously. This feels a lot like like something that happens later in the series. And also that boat. I don't know how the hell that boat got there.
Nah, don't worry about it. Dense jungle. The boat could have been a separate plot line.
See, like you can see here, it's
near identical.
Yeah, the layout is the same.
Maybe a little bit shorter. Yeah, they really did rock the red shoulders look.
This was his design for a while. I think it got changed very late in development. Like I said, it was how he looked in most of the trailers for the game. This is how he looked when he showed up at E3, the same year that Lightning showed up from Final Fantasy 13, and then he released a year later. And she released in 2009, and then in the same year that she released, Uncharted 2 came out. This bridge also doesn't happen. Like, that says island shootout. What a terrible environment for a shooter. There's no cover anywhere. Everybody's just exposed. What are you supposed to do
here? You
here?
got trees.
I guess so. Island sneaking. There's not a lot of this. What little stealth gameplay is in Uncharted 1 is just abysmal.
Good.
Just terrible.
Well, at least there's not much of it, like you said. Bigfoot.
Where? Honestly, the biggest problem with the stealth gameplay in this, they don't never really force you to do a stealth sequence. The problem is there are bits where you might want to stealth and the game like will not let you.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a good look at that, and now we will...
But at least it doesn't force anything on you. Sure, it would be a shame if games these days that came out and had awful stealth mechanics.
It'd be a shame if games forced you to do stealth sections really frequently.
Sure, it would be
right?
a shame if, say, like a game like a Rockstar game, maybe they released things like heists or whatever and decided to throw in stealth sections, and that's the optimal way of doing it, except the stealth mechanics in the game were never explored properly and suck.
Especially when you're doing it with other people online and your netcode is terrible because you're playing a Rockstar game online.
I tested it on one of the heists, and there was a guy that well, for some reason also, upon respawning, he would be in different positions. But it was like doing the exact same sequence every time yielded like a 75% chance of it working. But sometimes it just wouldn't, and that's a game where my favorite thing in any stealth game is somebody sees you. The moment they see you, everyone knows.
Yeah, everybody
no
knows
leniency at all.
instantaneously.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa.
You gotta go to this thing from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's actual architecture, but that's, like I said, I'm not a huge history buff. I don't know these things. Not a history or an archaeology. I had to think for a second.
You're so unfamiliar with it.
I had to figure out what the word was. Oof.
Righty. 1 second. Let me really quickly scroll down here real fast. I'm going to glance back at my treasure guide just to refresh myself on what we have coming up here. I think I remember everything we're going to have to deal with in short term, but it's good to double check sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
He's got to make sure he looks the coolest by knowing where everything is.
It's not about looking the coolest. It's about giving our viewers the most complete experience with the video game, Joey.
That didn't do so good. The light on the camera right there.
Not so much, no. It's because it's filtering between all those bars, and there's no, like...
I mean, to be fair, this is what happens in real life, where it's the same kind of debilitating effect of,
my eyes. All right, well, we appear to have no way forward within
Kick
this...
the door.
No,
Shoot dog.
no, different thing.
You can't be serious.
I'm sure there was another way.
Just out here.
Is that just out here? So this was also some of the earliest imagery of this game and some of the early trailers and stuff was these types of scenes. Some of it was like like pre-rendered. So the earliest trailers, some of the earliest trailers were all pre-rendered. But I want to say that the first trailer that was shown at E3 was about to had a shot in it that happens about 3 seconds from now.
I have to bust through that window.
Are you gonna have to do that? I'm pretty sure you can make it there.
That or a variation of that shot, I believe, was in one of the very first trailers to kind of introduce the character. We got some grenades here, and also
that's the worst kind of SMG. I'm biased, but near universally, SMGs that look like that in games are not fun to use.
That look like the Uzi?
Me. Yeah.
Well, see, that's the problem, right? Is in most games, the Uzi is considered to be a primary. You know, it's like in the same category as your MP5 or whatever else, right? In Uncharted, the Uzi is pretty reliably a sidearm. And I'm going to say, this is my favorite Uzi in pretty much any video game. In Uncharted, it's a lot of fun. We'll get a look at it. In fact, you know what?
Oh, shit.
Okay, that seems like pretty reliable at close range. It's almost every time I'm in a game and it's like, that's the gun, and it's like, I don't even want to use it.
No, it's usually since it is a a handgun, usually games treat it as like a really, really high rate of fire, really hard to control because it kicks so much, so it's like really just not worth it compared to, oh right, I forgot. So for whatever reason, if you go specifically on this window, the game decides you need a Resident Evil camera angle up here for some reason.
That's a grenade.
That I'm not quite sure I understand. That's fine. It's okay, don't worry about it. There we go. Okay, I'm glad that I know that now. Thanks, game.
That feels unintentional. It may not be, but it feels that way.
Oh, I hit the wrong button again.
Whoopsie.
I don't know why I hit down there because I wasn't aiming yet, so I'm not sure what like my thought process was. Oh, of course, because in Battlefront you can shoulder swap even when you're not aiming. That's probably why. Yeah, I need to get over that.
I use that quite a bit when I play that game. When I play that game, it's not very often I do.
I'm not enjoying the Starfighter stuff in it, but in that vein, I should probably just get the actual Starfighter game.
Yeah, but then you'd have to give them money.
It's true. Well, I wouldn't be giving DICE money, and I would be paying for the game with no DLC, and that like they probably don't expect to do well because they sold it for $40. And if it winds up doing miraculously well, then that's actually probably a really good thing. But anyway.
Well, if it winds up doing miraculously well, then they'll just get DICE to do it, and $60.
Anyway, so really quickly up here, there is a treasure, but it is a particular. I wouldn't have forgotten about this one because I know where this one is in most of the games.
Oh,
The Strange Relic.
Okay.
This may look familiar to some
yeah.
people. This is one of the basic collectibles from Jak and Daxter.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So in pretty much all of the Uncharted games, there is a Strange Relic tucked away somewhere. And it's this. It's always this little thing from Jak and Daxter that I forget the name of because I'm not a Jak and Daxter expert.
Yeah, I've barely played any of those games, and the only one that I've played a lot of was Daxter for the PSP because it came with my PSP.
Yeah,
so
you've mentioned that previously. So if we go in here,
that game is just full of dated. That entire game.
When you get the Strange Relic, you unlock one of the villains as a skin, Navarro. Most of these skins you can't get until later on in the game or even post game, but the Strange Relic gives you an alternate character skin right out of the gate if you are so inclined to use it. Huh. Get slapped in there.
That's
you
neat.
can you can they don't do this in Uncharted 4, but in Uncharted I don't think Uncharted 3 had it either, but in Uncharted 1 and Uncharted 2, you can dress up as almost every single character model in the game. You can swap into a lot of different characters. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and swap back out of this, and again, I'm reminding myself.
How much does it persist? Is it just in gameplay, or does?
No, it's just it's in gameplay or like non. Like if it's a anything where it like has to cut to a loaded cutscene, it doesn't persist. But if it's like kind of a quotation marks in-game cutscene, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are some cutscenes where the model will display.
Oh yeah, and what I was gonna say earlier is haven't seen like a loading screen. It seems like it's pretty exclusively
for the most part. This was something that this game should have gotten credit for it, but people didn't play this game. So it was a pretty big deal in reviews at the time for 2 that most of the loading gets completely hidden behind cutscenes.
That doesn't seem like you're supposed to be able to go this way.
Well, you are because there's a treasure over here.
Oh my gosh.
Another Jaguar.
Didn't we get?
We got a golden one
Jaguar.
earlier. So this is one thing where the part of the reason why I'm a little bit anal about trying to remember where all the treasures are on this playthrough is that in the later games, they're in their own slots. But in this game, they appear in your list in the order that you find them.
Oh.
So the OCD, number one, of like, they're not in order. But number two, like, you won't know if you've missed something until you get to the ending of the game and you're like, oh, there's still 20 left and there's 5 minutes left in the game.
And you have to cross-reference then. It's like you pull up a list.
Yes,
like,
when I went back through to get my platinum, I had to like read through like item by item to figure out, which ones I was missing, which is just obnoxious. So when I played this, I was like trying to figure out if there's something up here because you can walk up this, but eventually the game if that foliage pushes you off and you can't climb up any higher, so there's nothing hidden up there.
Shame.
I fought with that for a while when I was playing this originally.
Down we go.
Over here, yep. I want to say, is it over here that there is treasure? Hey, wait, this is where we came in earlier, and now the gate's knocked over.
What?
Who knocked the gate over? That's not fair.
It was just rusted.
We had to do all that climbing work. Oh, I'm so mad, grr.
I'm so mad. I'm just gonna take it out on these people. It's a good thing
to be
they
fair,
shot
he did
first.
shoot. Yeah, I was gonna say he did shoot at me first.
Because we're good people.
We're good. We're the good guys. I tried to do freaking Battlefront 2 again. Oh no! Okay, here comes one of our first slightly meatier guys. He has no clothes on, but he's a big boy, and that means that he can take more bullets than everybody else.
It's like that guy from...
It's like reverse fat shaming.
It's like the Vorkuta mission in Black Ops.
Okay. Yikes. Yes, the guy who... Sergey, or whatever, yeah.
I was talking to Jake about this during Halloween when we were talking about Halloween movies. We were talking about slashers and stuff. I'm not a huge Halloween buff, but he is. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, man, I don't know if I've ever seen a kill in a movie as meaty as Sergey taking the pickaxe to somebody in that mission on Black Ops. Like, it's right out the gate. You just see him pick up a dude from the back.
It sure does set the tone for that game. Loud and stupid.
Yeah, but it's... Oh, I love that kill, though, because...
Oh, I didn't say it wasn't cool.
Well, no, the real thing about it is it's like... That game's not a gory game. It's not World at War. You can't blow people's arms off or anything. There's just blood occasionally.
Yeah.
But when he picks it up, you can see like giblets of the dude going everywhere.
Yeah, it's like they made made up for the fact that you weren't World at Warring the entire way through the game with that one hit. Whoa!
Yeah.
Boom,
That looked
gone.
kind of bad, but whatever.
What?
So that looked kind of
Oh
bad.
no, it doesn't. No, it didn't look great. This is pre-punch lasers, man. You remember punch lasers?
What is punch lasers?
That was the tech that they. I don't know if they really played it up, but people talked about it. It was what basically it was the idea that every time you pressed square, once you get to like it's specifically once you get to The Last of Us, I believe that like every time you press square, the like basically the game sends out a series of like invisible lasers in front of the character that identifies any assets in the world that it can start doing interactive animations with. Uncharted 3 does that a little bit too, where like if you're standing next to a table and the table has some crap on it and you're meleeing with a guy, Drake will pick it up and hit the guy with it. But then you get to Last of Us and it's you remember like you'll slam people against walls, against a table, push them over, stuff like it's there's a lot of contextual stuff.
Even when you're not doing that in Last of Us, it's like at least the punches. Every time you punch, there's a big screen shake and hit stop. Well,
there is it feels heavy because of the way that the camera moves. No, this game does have like you've seen a couple times I've punched people and they were near cover or whatever, and he's pushed them up against it. But it's not as thorough as some later games from Naughty Dog, and obviously later games that other people have made.
No sign of her. It's either very good or very bad.
Uh-oh.
Oh. So this part's a little bit obtuse. You may think, okay, well, I guess I'm supposed to climb up here to check out something with the parachute or something. No, actually, you need to climb up here because there's a zip line that gets you inside this room that you didn't know you needed to get to.
Great. Ouch.
Also, this is a scene where you can tell it's hand animated, not mocap. Watch the way the characters move. At least I assume. I'm fairly confident.
Buka Pintu!
Ah,
crap. Sialalo! Chepatan! Buka Pintu!
Ah, taí!
It worked!
There he is! Up there! Get on the gun!
Oh boy.
Like especially his little laugh, that looks so PS2 to me.
Yeah. There's a new gun there, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's the this. I guess I haven't picked this up yet. Yeah, this is actually the gun that Sully had earlier.
Yeah.
And this is for the most part, not always, but for the most part,
One shot.
this is a one-hit kill. Pretty much anywhere on the body.
Like, even if it doesn't make a lot of sense, a lot of games abide by unspoken FPS rules.
Well, come on, dude. That was unfair. There we go.
And shotgun and Magnum being the strongest is one that I'm very glad when it happens. I love a good Magnum in a game.
Go back down this way, I think. I was gonna say this guy often tries to outflank me, but I will not be fooled this time.
Magnums being the strongest actually did me a disservice once upon a time when I was younger, because before I had any of the Call of Duties, really, I was at my cousin's house and he was like, play Call of Duty with me. And I was like, okay, and I saw a class with a Magnum, I'm like, oh, that's a one-shot.
Oops.
So, oops.
Uh-oh, unfortunate.
It was World at War, and it's a one-shot in zombies for pretty high levels, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then I thought I was just missing all the time until I got a clear hit that didn't kill. I was like, where are you not dead?
I was about to say, I don't think I actually want the shotgun for what I'm about to do. If I remember the next part of the level correctly, I don't think I actually want a shotgun and an Uzi. I think I need something with a little bit of range, but I do want the Uzi. So yeah, I think picking up all this AK ammo is gonna be the better option for me right now. But you see what I mean, right? Where it's like for the last, like we've been, like I said, we're now in our second level of like no plot has happened.
Yeah.
There is just shooting at people. And down there is a machine gun turret that is going to cause me some trouble. Can give me a real headache. Now, you may not be able to see it because the draw distance isn't great, but there were propane barrels right next to him. So I guess not draw distance. It's just it's so far away, and then it's small details to have to be able to notice at that range.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought it was going to be a sequence of you either unload all your ammo and do kill him somehow, or you have to go through kind of
Oh well, so basically, if
covering
people are
them.
on chain guns in this game, they
There's
always
a barrel right beside them.
Huh? No. They
Oh.
always like they fire for a while and then stop as if the gun is like cooling down or something. Like there's a sequence, so there's always like a safe to move period.
Okay.
When guys are on guns like that, so you can absolutely play it that way, where it's like you move up and progress towards him, but that's not what you have to do. If you know that there's that barrel next to him. We could progress up to where the gun is, but we also have in
There
here
he is.
this gentleman
Whoa.
who's gonna go away now.
Wow.
Thank you. And back here behind this crate, we have a golden spoon!
Ooh.
Not a silver spoon, a golden spoon for even lazier children.
Aren't you supposed to have gold silverware to like not taint the food or some garbage?
I have no idea.
For
All
like,
that highbrow crap.
Yes, for
I
the
don't know.
highbrow crap.
Yeah, so also if you don't kill him with the barrels and you manage to get your way up to this room, you have a grenade launcher here which you can use to finish him off pretty
Ah,
quickly.
cool stuff.
Though again, for this next room, the grenade
Don't
launcher
really
would be
want it.
useful for 3 shots, and then it would be
Yeah.
absolutely useless to me. So I don't.
You,
really
you
need
play
that
these
right
games the same way I do, where it's like, oh, cool, and explosive. If enemies are coming at me, I'll pick it up and then grab my other weapon. But otherwise, I'm just gonna leave it.
now. Well, we're about to get into this is I would say. To be completely honest, when I first played this game, that initial battle in like remember when we were in the jungle initially, right after I was explaining all the 6-axis stuff, like that weird kind of broken courtyard area? The first time I played this game, I did have some trouble in that room, but I think that was because I didn't realize how garbage the cover was yet.
Yeah.
This, I would say, is probably the first like actually
Place
hard
could use a good
room
plumber.
intentionally. Oh man, love those
Good
plumbers.
plumber, love those plumbers.
Love those plumbers. This is the first one where I can kind of feel like, okay, this was probably intentionally designed to be like as hard as it is. It's like actually pretty challenging.
Yeah.
Because you've got quite a bit of open space here, as you can see. Slightly weird sight lines they have to kind of keep in control of, and people come in from a bunch of different
No
directions.
mini map in a game like this, huh?
No mini map in any of these. Were you expecting something like that?
Yeah. It's not a bad thing.
I guess it is kind of a
It's not a bad thing that it's
standard
not
feature.
there, but it's yeah.
Oh, hold on. Stop that. Go away. See, I've already almost gone through all my AK ammo, and I remember I stopped and picked up like 6 other guys' guns. Oh, yeah, also, I forgot to mention, one of the big reasons that Brutal is a meme difficulty is it cuts the amount of ammo you pick up. And I'm not saying it cuts it by half, I'm saying like, you know the pistols that I'm picking up, they give you like 10 bullets or whatever?
Yeah.
They'll give you 2 on Brutal.
Yeah.
And you do half the normal amount of damage.
Yikes.
Brutal's a meme mode. It's a joke. I'm sure some people have beaten it, and maybe they had a good time. Maybe they thought they had a good time, I don't know.
Wow.
Wow.
They enjoyed that they could say they beat it on Brutal.
Here we go. All right, I actually did pretty well on that. I was pretty ready for that. Maybe I do need to bump the difficulty. I'm not sure that I can bump it just during gameplay. Let me double check, just because I'm curious. Let's go to game. Can I increase it to hard? Is that gonna count? Okay, is it gonna make me redo this fight? It is. Well, here we go.
Okay.
Great, now we get an immediate demonstration of what the game looks like on hard.
Yeah.
I do on hard. I forget what the exact changes are.
I can look it up if you want.
I think I remember. I do half damage like you do on crushing, and enemies do twice as much. But I have 100% health as opposed to crushing where I have 50% health.
health.
I believe that's the difference.
What about ammo drops? Is it the
Ammo
same?
drops are only affected on Brutal,
Okay.
which is good because otherwise it would be freaking stupid.
Man, I know we've talked before about it's like difficulties in games are a very special kind of thing where it's
Whoa,
like,
give me that AK. His AK happened to physics fly off. I need it. Never mind, now I'm dead.
yeah, that was much faster to death.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take you any time at all to respawn.
No, it's quick. I mean, also, we are playing a PS3 game on a PS4,
Yeah,
so
but still.
I'm sure that the load times are significantly better here than they were in the original. I don't think we've even seen him get to this level of intensity on the color grading.
Now, does it always stay like this in the games where it's just your health is how weird it gets?
Huh?
How gray it
Sorry?
gets?
Yes, yeah, pretty much all the games are represented that way.
Okay.
They don't do the Modern Warfare 2 they don't do the Modern Warfare 2 jelly on the screen. They do
This is better than
grayscale
the jelly
thing.
on the screen, but I don't know. I don't know if it's my favorite or not.
Yikes. Okay, hold on. I need to try different. I feel like I need to be playing slightly differently. Maybe I should try something a little different.
You have to stop playing like normal difficulty. You have to do my friend and I have been playing the New Game Plus Plus on Borderlands. We found out that the secret is we've been calling it you can't Borderlands the game. We gotta stop Borderlandsing it in the sense of you gotta stop running and gunning and going in. Like you see the enemies and you sit back and you just kill. You wait and you wait. And
People are gonna call me a little bitch because I just did that, but it's because I haven't played this game in a while, and like I said, I could turn on Uncharted 2 on crushing right now, and probably I would die a bunch, but I would do fine. But like this game has just got a lot of weird jank on it that I had to get really used to play it on crushing comfortably, and I'm just not there right now. I don't think I mentioned this earlier in the playthrough. My thought process is that after this playthrough comes out, I may stream the game on crushing, because then I'll have a bit more time to reacclimate myself as opposed to right now. You see, God, I don't want to be behind cover. I distinctly want to not be behind cover. I'm trying to roll out of it. That's my primary objective right now, is to get away from walls, and Nate just will not stay away from them. I need you to stay where you are.
Die for me.
There we go. I love his little tiny peek when he throws the grenades. There we go. All right. There's a guy up there on the scaffolding, I think. As I thought there was. Perhaps I imagined him.
Is he on the scaffolding or behind it? Yeah, he's up there.
Oh, he's up there. Okay, got it. Yeah.
That's the AK, man.
I think both guys up top had AKs. Crap. All right, already closing in on me here. You see, as since I knew that since I was gonna have to reacclimate myself to the game, that normal was probably gonna be good enough. Granted, I creamed this the first time that I went through, but I almost died there, so who knows. If like I said, maybe after I get a bit further into this, if I'm more used to it again, maybe we'll give hard a shot.
Oh my gosh, there's even more.
Yeah, we got these guys before. These are the big boys.
Yes. Oh, I love Ragdoll.
Good stuff. So that's the interesting thing, is that there's a weird thing in this game where sometimes they ragdoll and sometimes they have very clearly pre-canned death animations where they fly sometimes they do just ragdoll and fall over, and other times it's they go whoa, and you expect a Wilhelm scream to play or something as they fly through the air.
Man, I've talked before about how Dark Souls 2 is the best game in the series, obviously. But sadly, in that game, one thing it loses is Dark Souls 1 has ragdoll on almost every enemy that isn't a unique or big enemy. And 2, it's the opposite. It's there's a few that have ragdoll, but other than that, most of them just fade away, and it's a real shame.
How's Demon Souls on ragdoll?
I think Demon Souls was just as good as Dark Souls.
All right, good. Then that means it's worth playing.
Absolutely. But actually, I don't know about the new one. I'm kind of trying to stay blind on the new one because I know I'm not going to be able to play it for a while.
Sure. Because you ain't wasting money on a PS5 at launch for two games, most of which are on the PS5 for anyway.
I was going to say, what 2 games?
In my head, I was thinking Miles, and then I was like, oh wait, no, Miles is on PS4 too. Yep. Okay.
It's DMC Special Edition. Oh wait, no, it's just a $5 or $6 DLC on PlayStation right now.
Man, Nate had a lot of confidence in the fact that all of this was actually going somewhere. And not just to a dead end or to a room where you're going to be trapped. Because right now in this room we're trapped. We can't get out. We have to raise the water level to be able to continue. It sure is convenient that we're capable of doing that.
It's that luck.
Come on. There we go.
What?
So like I said, the water in this game is pretty good, but there's not complex physics puzzles, because here, you pull the switch, the animation plays. So it's not like it's a really, really complicated water system. It's just that it does look quite nice.
Yep.
Especially for the time. This was a lot of people were really impressed with the water at the time when this game came out.
There's a little bit of water coming right now. If we just took a nap, it'd probably do.
Where we take? I guess we could climb back up onto the other ledge and take a nap there. Couldn't really nap in the water very well. Yeah. Oof. Bonked my head. All right, come on. Almost there. Very good. Very good. Alrighty.
I'm glad that there's just enough room to climb up right
Precisely. The exact amount that we need.
Unlocking the pass.
Yeah,
Seamless chapter transitions too.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, they'll do it. They'll mask them with cutscenes sometimes, but there are bits where you walk through a level and then you're just in another level a second later. Oh, look, the sky's cleared up a little bit outside. It was a bit more cloudy earlier. But the oh man, look at all these crates containing dirt.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I can't make the time to crate joke because we've already seen plenty of crates, but for those who don't know, time to crate is a Tim Rogers review metric from back in the day. Before, I guess people knew who Tim Rogers was, but it was back when it was just his blog, before he was doing video stuff more often. And it's a review scale. It's the only review scale that matters. It's how long does it take for a generic crate to appear in a video game, because that's the moment that the developers stopped trying. No, but I find it like there's, we got all this like stuff sitting around that's like, okay, look, a bunch of broken pots or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then, oh, look, these crates are clearly modern, so I guess the folks that were fighting brought them here and broke them all open, and they have the dirt in them.
Listen, the soil here is bad and you can't grow crops, so we got to bring our own soil.
Jesus, Elena, where are you?
Don't do. I'm gonna keep the Uzi. I say that. No, I have no ammo in back.
Ammo.
I have a shotgun and no ammo in the Uzi. I need the pistol.
Wait a minute. Now, what's so important about that tower?
Wait, one gosh darn minute.
Whoa! Son of a bitch!
So this is another point where when I was playing the game on crushing, not critical, I almost said critical. This encounter kind of shows off some not great encounter design, especially on the higher difficulty where you can die in like 2 bullets. Because like, so right there, those 2 pistol bullets that shot me, that would have killed me on crushing.
Yikes.
It's very hard to, you're gonna see in a second here. Now we do have the opportunity to shoot some guys from down here, pick him off a little bit, if he chooses to show himself. There you are.
Show yourself, coward.
All right. And I'm gonna pick up this pistol ammo because I'm gonna need it. I don't need the AK, that's fine.
Your gun, no need it.
I'm gonna need it. Okay, now I have no cover and I gotta get upstairs. And I just kinda gotta hope that they don't shoot me twice. So I would've just died there if it was crushing. So I would've needed to start running up those stairs to spawn these. Oh no, hiding behind that pillar doesn't get me because they're coming from too many angles. Oh boy, this box doesn't really work either because number 1, it's destructible cover, and number 2, it's not quite big enough to actually hide the entirety of Drake's body.
You see that?
Yeah, he's enjoying himself. Here, okay, we're just gonna play this safe. We're gonna use grenades to take out this guy.
He didn't even acknowledge it and it hit him. That worked? Yeah, it did. Good stuff. Pop him.
There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, the shotgun's not completely consistent, but I suppose that's also, that makes sense. You wouldn't really expect a shotgun's performance to be completely consistent. That's kind of the entire, that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point. That's kind of the idea behind the shotgun, as it were. Uh-oh, drop frames again. Real quick, before I continue, I want to double check my list. It was a good thing I did, because I would have remembered all of the treasures in this level except this one. Silver Inca mask. What do you mean, Joey? You don't like that? Look, it's Shrek, dude.
I wasn't
The
expecting
Inca invented Shrek.
The eyes just, they took me out of it.
Ogres have layers.
Ogre have layer.
All right, here we go. Now, okay, so remember when we were talking about video games here?
Yes.
Boy, oh boy, are you, Joey, about to witness some real video gamery happening here.
Aha, what am I doing?
Now, not this part, not yet. We're about to get to. There's just about to be a real sequence of events of video gamery.
Good.
This is the next.
Look forward to
and we're probably not going to get through all of it in this episode, but the next like stretch, the next like 10, 20 minutes of this game are just clown shoes video gamery. Anyway, all right. So we pulled that gate open. Very nice, very nice. Let's just move forward, shall we?
What could go wrong?
Remember, he noticed that tower on the map,
Yes,
right?
and it had the key beside it on the map, right? Yeah.
Same symbol.
Or that symbol of it.
What's that got to do with the tower?
Yeah, they're drawn right next to each other. That's kind of interesting, right? While we're here also, because we don't really have the option of pulling up this map whenever we want to. So I want to look at this really quickly. So it looks like we've got a kind of the fort, which is on the southern end of the island, which is where we are now, right? And there's some kind of, you see that building with a dome and kind of 2 larger buildings on the left and right of it. And then it looks like some kind of town up north of all of that.
Sweet odd.
Mm-hmm. And then upriver from that, see that river snaking up through the island? Monasterio, right? You can see a cross on top of that building. So there's some kind of monastery upriver, up in the mountains, right? We're not going to get many opportunities to look at this map, so I just want everybody to take a moment to observe this and get the geography of this island in your head, because these are places.
Yeah.
A lot of this is kind of going to be, I mean, it's not super duper important, but it's nice that you do get to see it ahead of time, and we're going to get to see more of it as it goes on here. Anyway, when I was talking about video game-ass video gamery, for whatever reason on this map of the entire island, this one tower is drawn, right?
With that.
And the symbol of these keys, right? So what's up with that?
Let's find out.
Well, we walked in the tower. I don't know if I actually walked into the tower, but there's nothing really to see in there.
Okay.
There's just an open, empty room at the bottom. So we got things to climb here. Let's try climbing.
Is that a bird? Get that bird.
No, I'm not going to try shooting more birds, Joey.
Get that bird. I wouldn't want you to shoot it. I want you to punch it.
Okay, well, I flew away before I could do that. Okay, now, I'm going to grab onto this for some reason. Oh, I'm going to kick this thing over. I guess that's going to help me platform? All right, I don't know how Nate knew that would work, but that's fine. Okay, whatever. Nathan's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing.
Is he a smart guy?
Yeah, I think so. So this game
Baby.
has the much beloved QTEs in the middle of cutscenes. Except here's the problem. It only does it like 4 times in the entire game.
So you're never
You're
ready.
never ready for it. Now, of course, I knew that one was gonna happen. I just let it happen because I wanted you guys to see it. I imagine I will remember all of them, and a couple of them are actually really easy. You have like a half an hour to respond.
Good. Ouch.
And it's like the window of opportunity even on that one is pretty wide. Like you saw there, I was mashing it so the prompt it was barely even on screen.
Yeah.
But it's like, I remember like on my 3rd go through of certain, so there's one section of this game where like I had done the QTE already like 3 times probably, maybe more. And I don't think I ever failed it, but I think I was surprised by it every time and almost failed it. Thanks, Nate. So that was an example of a time when the animation decided to go pre-canned, and I don't know why. Anyway.
Do it again.
Also, again, this is a...
Yeah!
Nate, you son of a bitch! You're never gonna find Drake's fortune at this rate. Alright, come on, one more time.
Okay.
So we got a Resident Evil camera angle going on
say-
again. Whoa!
Whoa!
If I aim, the game does not like it. There we go, now I can do it. All right.
Okay.
So again, I don't know how Nathan knew this was gonna work, but we're trying to find our
Get
way
up
into the
there.
upper levels of the tower. There
Yeah,
we
you
go, did it
did
that
it.
time. Woohoo!
Now don't screw it up.
I'm the best!
What happens if you screw? Do you just die now if you drop?
No, because I believe that if we were actually to get a good look at that, there is technically still a bit of cliff face behind those rocks that fell that you can still grab onto. It's just that if
Okay.
you happen to be holding that layer, you can fall.
Oh, okay.
But if you were to drop, you could go back. I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
Bird.
Bird.
Wow!
That one, unlike before when we were on that rock face that fell at the waterfall, on that one you do actually have to jump. Now, which way am I going?
See, from here to water
All right, I'm
looks
not
pretty
supposed.
good.
I don't think I'm supposed to. Am I supposed to go up here yet?
I see skeleton.
Yeah. Okay. So you can go in down on that lower level and go around. Oh wait, no. Yeah, you can't go in on this level for whatever reason. You have to go around like so.
Yeah.
It's fine. Whatever. Like I said, video game as
You have
video
to
games.
Assassin's Creed it.
I could have gone to the right there, and that would have been a little bit faster. But anyway, so you get in up here, right? Okay. So here we are at the top of the thing. We can, again, Resident Evil camera angle, but I can aim. I can have a look around. We can see the island out there. Very nice, very nice. Down here on the ground, Skeleton Man, and he's got a key right there.
Wow.
Yeah. Excuse me.
That's
Yep.
That's not nice.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Where it's like he does, like he is a nerd, but he's like, I don't care about these bones. Oh, poor Bones.
Oh
I've
well.
been sitting there for a long time, and
I
Nathan
mean-
Drake knocked them out of the tower.
He's been sleeping for a long time and got a rude awakening.
I suppose so. Oh, hold on. There was a shotgun in here, and I fired once or twice with this thing, so I can refill. Oh, and grenades.
Oh, baby.
Dude, I am a genius!
Look at that. So yeah, you can hold double the ammo for the shotgun.
But that's about it. Anyway, I'm not about. That is it. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so what I was saying was video game as video game was on the map that Drake had 500 years ago.
Yep.
He knew to note that the key to this door would be in
the tower.
that tower on that dead body to get through one door in one part of this fort that could also be bypassed by this gate or any billion other way.
He just destroyed part of the architecture. Like, just to get up there, so just do it, like, through a wall.
He knew that the keys would be there. Anyway, but I do like this. It would be too convenient if the first key he tried was the right one. But not outlandish for him to know that he would need the tower with the keys. I guess maybe it's because they're prison keys. This is a prison in here. Maybe that's what's actually going on. Maybe I should give the game more credit, but it's much more fun to make fun of it. Fragile. Must be Italian. We'll resume with more.
Oh, the Italians are the ones here.
Now we understand what's happening. There's so many factions involved.
The plot thickens.
It was the Spaniards and the English back in the day. Now it's the Americans and the Italians. Or the American Italians. It could be the mob. There's all kinds of stuff to learn now. Anyway.
We'll fight more italics in the next episode.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll find out who we're fighting in the next episode.